What's going on, my creative collective? Welcome to your daily creative reading for August 29th. We are going to hop right on in here. Let's see where the day takes us, shall we? Let's see where the day takes us. Okay, so this is Hope Floats. Okay, so we'll put that here. And we'll pull another one for the end. Okay, you are magic. Okay, so we'll read that one at the very end. All right. Dearest you, let us ask you, are you looking for happiness outside of your everyday moment-to-moment experience, thinking you will find happiness out there someday? So many go chasing a magic it out there, but it could never be found out there. So we want to share a secret that shouldn't be a secret. You are pure joy. What made you is pure joy, and every time you wake up, and even when you sleep, you have joy waiting to be expressed inside you. Joy and happiness and fullness come from doing joy, being joy, knowing it, cultivating it, and lighting it in your heart so you can share it. You must know this, so when the time comes, you will fully be free, and your joyful being and actions will turn you into a beacon of starlight. Look within and be joyful, even for tears and loss, for they mean you have lived, really lived. Jump into it all and love every minute. We all love you like crazy over here. Okay, let's hop right on in here, Spirit. My assistant here is having a very good morning. I don't know about you. So sweet. Oh my goodness. Okay, I just had to. She's so frisky this morning. It's so funny. Okay. Do you want to clear the deck? Here. We do our thing. You clear the deck. Oh, thank you. Okay. Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives for August 29th, please? Here, I'll move it out of the way. I move it. Just have my little cord there. Okay. Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives for August 29th, please? Page of Cups. Four of Pentacles. Wow, I feel like the call to adventure straight away is letting yourself love more. If not love more, then I think it's just opening your heart more. And I feel like it's the reason why I'm thinking that it's an embrace of something. It could be something that you love. It's just the Four of Pentacles. It's not a withholding in terms of a miserly energy. I get that this is like protection. Like this is coming across as protection, knowing what to invest in and what not to. And I almost see like this is like a big picture that has been taken, like setting oneself aside from the bustle of, where things are invested, and sort of setting yourself aside, but not in a way that's like, it's not in a superiority sense. It's really just taking a step back. But I feel like the invitation is to take a step in, like, and forward. Page of Cups is that sort of step forward. But I feel like there's this opening up. There's this inclination to open up. And what I'm getting here quite strongly is the call to adventure. If this is related more to creative energy and generative energy, when I think about it in terms of awakenings and things like that, it could be too, like there's an aspect of yourself that's trying to be expressed through the heart. And what's happening is it's like getting blocked a little bit on the way out because there's been a need to protect. It could be, the energy centers related to colors in terms of the throat, the solar plexus, the heart, and the root, right? And I feel like I've heard this before somewhere, but it's like they go in pairs. So it could be that it's like the root and the throat, or and the solar plexus and the heart. but it could be these connections where it's like there's just little beliefs that need to be, reaffirmed over time therein. But I'm just getting this, there's like a want to open your heart, not just to other people or to a person, but to like your heart, period. Like there's just something here quite profound about wanting to open your heart. So the things that could become towers if they go unexpressed, this is so fascinating. Some soulmate energy here, but also a looking back. Like it's almost like looking back at soulmates that you've experienced through friendships, friend groups, and also partnerships, right? Partnerships. And I'm almost getting this as like in the reverse, where it's almost like they were partnerships that weren't necessarily the most stable, or partnerships that weren't really partnerships, right? Like, yeah. And I feel like there's a lot of what I love here too is the abundance of cups. There's a lot of cups here. So it's telling me that there's these shifts in the heart center. And if this is related to work, it could be like holding back on getting too excited about a project, holding back on investing too much in something because you're not sure how it's going to turn out, or is it going to, burn through your energy. Because I feel like the cups energy here, this sort of passionate, I feel like this is, a foundation card, stability. It can be a relationship and marriage card in specific contexts. I mean, I do feel like there's a relationship, like a key relationship here, but I don't think it's coming through as a person as yet. I feel like it's more relationships and how you relate to them and others through the heart. Yeah, see, so when I talked about, so this was on the bottom, the Three of Swords, when I was talking about like, there's like some kind of disappointment energy that I was picking up on, and then that was on the bottom. And it's like just disappointments in terms of like looking back. It's like this is reflective of the want for soulmate energy, want for that. And I feel like this is the presence of one around you. I feel like there's just little things, like the way that you look back on things that worked and then didn't, or didn't, that, whatever that means. It's almost like there's just a need to go back and heal that. And I think that's where this could become a tower. If it goes unchecked, is if it's not something that's, being looked at and not overanalyzed or examined, like cross-examined or anything like that. This is more an energy of, yeah, it's like looking for the silver lining, And that's, I feel like that's big. The silver lining, not in a way that minimizes. Yeah. It's like trying to find, I feel like the Nine of Cups in this, again, more cups. To me, it represents this sort of, it's an emotional fulfillment, yes, but I'm hearing destiny. I also feel like it's this sense of, being connected to something bigger than you that threads through everything. And it's such that it makes disappointments not disappear, but it makes disappointments less, they place you in less of a Four of Pentacles, and they place you in more of a Fool energy, right? Whoa. So your protagonist energy is balance in the Ten of Pentacles. So it's almost like at this time, whatever you want, it's not only that it's wanting you. I feel that it's also, I think that there's something about you needing to come into balance, and not just with what you want, but I think with the world that you're envisioning for yourself from this point forward, right? Like, your antagonist is the moon. So I almost feel like it will be to your detriment to be unspecific and to be confused, right? Or confusion isn't something that you can really pull out of easily sometimes. Cause I know, like there's so much Aquarius in my chart that it's like, I know it is one of my downfalls to overthink things, because I feel like I need to understand something in order to express, how I feel about it with other people. And this applies not just to work, but even in friendships and things like that. And I know that what can be just a sort of little quirk about oneself can become this sort of moon energy that does more harm than good. And however unintentionally that is, right? However unintentionally. But I feel like this is this is a call to kind of get really clear, because there's a certain manifesting power that you have right now. And I think this is also possibly calling for a little more patience with yourself, or patience with others too, because the thing to keep in mind is that if you've been in a place of Four of Pentacles with something, it may be that you just need to give people time to trust that your emotions are clear. That's coming through. Like the way I think about this is in terms of projects, where if you hold back and you're like, well, I don't know for sure. I'm not really sure. I don't know. You kind of have to, it's not about winning over the room, but I think a lot of it has to do with, looking at, because I don't like the idea of proving. I don't think that we should have to prove things to others. I mean, I think that because that can be like a form of emotional unavailability, right? Where we try to prove and prove and prove and prove. And that can be really hurtful and harmful to ourselves and other people when they do that. Like when we are like, prove it. It's like, it gets to be really, it splits our energy, because instead of staying connected to ourselves, we're in that energy of proving. And that doesn't really help anybody. But I feel like if you're clear, I almost feel like your clarity is going to be the thing that helps you stay out from under the moon. And also other people will be clearer about you and your intentions as well, be it at work or otherwise, right? This could be just a conversation with like a boss, for example, where you're saying, this is what my goals, these are among my goals, and I don't need to have them achieved like tomorrow, but I would like to have them. Yeah, speaking of work, but it's like I would like to see these things for myself. And if it's, how can we make that happen? Is it something that I can work with, or, like what's the most reasonable thing to reach for right now? And that kind of thing. So it's having very grounded conversations with this 10 of Pentacles and then the 8 of Pentacles and the Sun, like very grounded conversations that are based on sort of tangibles, outcomes, that kind of thing. And it's not looking at relationships in the same way or under the same banner. Yeah, because I feel like there's a lot of questions about emotions and emotional fulfillment. It's not just what fulfills you, but what makes you want to reach out to somebody, what makes you want to contribute, to collaborate, to connect. What is it that puts you in that place? Spirit, what messages do you, okay. 10 of Cups, yeah, that's the main challenge. I think this is just about allowing yourself access to that and removing yourself from overthinking. So you don't break your own heart. Oh my gosh. But it's like availing yourself of the need to understand, I think. And that's something, that's like, I'm calling myself in on that one too, right? 2 of Cups. Okay, so this is definitely coming across as a relationship reading. If you are not in a relationship, this could just be friendships, like ways that you're, showing up in friendships, ways that you're showing up with coworker relationships, right? There's a lot of soulmate energy here. And I mean, to be clear, these are all relationship cards, most of them, the Page of Cups, the Ace of Cups, the 10 of Pentacles, the 4 of Wands, the 10 of Cups, the 2 of Cups, the 6 of Cups, like these are soul bonds. So this is possibly a time to reflect on soul bond energy in your life, be it with others or with, in terms of romance or whatnot. If you're in a relationship, this could be taking your commitments to a deeper level. So things that we're taking away from this main challenge. So the main challenge here is the 10 of Cups. I see this as like this sort of crescendo of understanding what it is that you want. Like it's knowing what you would like to put energy into, right? Goals together, like it, that kind of idea. And then the 10 of Cups is this sort of emotional recognition of what matters. And I think the overcoming of that is asking yourself, how do I want to love and be loved? How do I want to contribute? How do I want to pour into and be poured into, right? How do I want this reciprocal exchange? How do I want, to elevate others in their love of me, for me, and vice versa? How can I love others so well that at the end of the day I don't ask myself, do they know that I care that much? Do they know? So it's kind of throwing yourself wholeheartedly into the process. And interestingly, there's, I think, a way that you're sort of, I almost get that you're walking away from the idea of, and because the Page of Swords is like ideas, it's ideations. To me, this is walking away from, it's walking away from pictures that you might have painted from information that you gathered. I feel like this is taking a step back from, like trying to figure out and gathering information, because I feel like your heart knows. There's something about your heart knows. This is also, the King of Cups is a bit of an intuition card in my mind anyway, the way it's coming across, because to me, emotions and intuition are so connected. It's hard to hear one without feeling the other. And I'm inclined to believe that this is not just a call to go within, but I feel like there's a way that you may have established your emotions. You may have given them a specific authority in your life, right? You may have given them a specific authority, and you could only, and again, it's like that, like talking about experiences that I've had, like you may only be able to express specific things in the presence of understanding. But I think that some things you just can't understand. And I feel like you're walking away from the idea that you need to, right? Sometimes it's kind of scary and unsafe, because if you've been taught or told that you have to understand your emotions so that you can justify it, like, why do you feel that way? Why do you feel good? And you have to explain it or prove, like if you get into that proving energy, it is a little bit like, it's a little bit an energy of taking a step back from the proving, taking a step back from the need to explain, and stepping into just how it feels. Because when you feel a specific thing, nobody else has to agree with you. You don't need people to validate it, right? You can share, but share without the expectation of people validating it. Share without the expectation of people seeing you, because like people aren't going to all the time. And that's totally okay. Like, that's totally fine. And I think it's normal for that to happen. But I feel like this is kind of getting back to your center and saying it doesn't have to make sense. I don't know how this is going to work out, but this is how I feel. And being led by that, right? So it's almost like your feelings are your kind of North Star here. Speaking of your North Star. And this is where I feel like the stories that you may have told they get stuck in your head a little bit, and that's where it throws you out of balance. Stories that you've told about hope, about healing. This could be ways that you, a little bit obsessing over the details. And that's where it's like, it can make you be in this sort of juggling energy, but you weren't put here to perform your emotions. You were put here to experience the depth of them and relate to others, through love. And I feel like that's sort of connecting you to this North Star, right? Your emotions are going to be the healing and hope for you, right? That's how you are going to lead yourself back home, as it were, whatever that means for you. Okay. Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives, please, for August 29th? Okay, so we have the Magician and the Ace of Pentacles. Wow. Yeah, I feel like when you connect to your emotions, things open up, but it's not that they open up in a way that surprises you. The Magician isn't surprised by things that, start showing up. It's it's almost like anticipating it. Like the animal is looking at the ace almost in anticipation of, right? And it's not like an entitlement. It's not like that. It's like, I know that this creates opportunities. This creates something that's a really grounded experience. And that's kind of what emotions do, right? I think that you may need to, I almost see the Four of Swords as like giving yourself a little more credit in terms of mental rest. because I feel like when you're 10 of Pentacles, when you're 10 of Cups, when the Sun, when these really wonderful cards are the main challenge, it's not so much that they are unto themselves scary. There's just stories that you've told or have been told about what that means, right? About what that means. And if you feel like you're most efficacious, or when you feel like you can contribute the most when you're in states of proving or codependence, this is about what comes after the healing. Like what comes after, like who are you in relationships when you don't have to prove that you deserve to be loved? Who are you in relationships when you realize that you don't need to demonstrate that you deserve, right? Because in some ways we get into relationships, if this is a pattern that you've had. I know that the culture that we're in tends to prioritize the proving, right? Like there's, we think about this disposability, where I was speaking with someone at work the other day, it was last week, and they were talking about how their husband has seizures at least once or twice a day. And I was talking to my coworker after that, and we were talking about how like we live in a world that's so quick to just dispose of people and things. And, there's a certain, this is also understanding that we have also kind of emerged from a time where investing meant something very different, when there were, different power dynamics at play in terms of finances and things like that in relationships and in marriages with, men and women having different, like women couldn't have a bank account. So how could we say there's a disposability there, right? But nonetheless, I'm talking about what here I'm saying that this, I think it's like, maybe that's what this is, like feeling like if you lean into what makes you the most happy, it's like there's a certain way that you're easier to, like, there's like I don't know why disposability is coming up. There's not cards of that. Yeah, it could be that innocence hasn't felt safe. It could just be that, right? Like these swords are, it's almost like it's like they're being held up, but there's like a way that your innocence makes it so that this is less of a, it's less of a sword pointed at you and more of a sword that it's like, these are just thoughts, like they're not, I'm thinking this sort of Damocles. I probably mispronouncing that, but that's fine. Where it's like he was talking about, like the king is the palatial space that the king occupies and blah, blah, blah. Then the king was like, okay, come over. So the person went over, this is like the Coles Notes of it, but they sat on the couch with that king, and then the sword was like suspended in air over this person visiting, and the king said that's what the pressure of the throne can feel like. So then that person was like, oh, that's not what I want at all. And so it was just sort of like a different perception, but it's almost like, I wonder if that's what this is here in terms of emotional connection and intimacy. It's maybe like getting out of your own way, getting out of your thoughts, getting out of your head. Spirit, can you please clarify this 4 of Pentacles, the 3 of Cups, and the 6 of Cups, please? And the 4 of Wands as well. Oops, that's in there too. It's almost like a different kind of relational stability. This is how it's coming across right now, because we have the 4 of Pentacles, right? The 3 of Cups. These are all about relationships. Like these are all about relationships and soul bonds. So what this really is looking at is like, your 4 of Pentacles is like a 4 of Wands in that it's a different kind of stability. Like this is stability from kind of holding back on yourself a little bit. And again, I said this kind of directed more to the past, and that's where the 3 of Swords came out a little bit. But I'm feeling like this is about you in a place of like wanting a different kind of stability, seeking stability with others as opposed to stability on your own, because the 4 of Pentacles is like having it's like having enough, but there's more that you could want for yourself. So it's like there's more that you could want. Yeah, 4 of Wands and 6 of Cups. Clarifying the same cards. Yeah, there's more that you could want for yourself. There's kind of deeper roots that you could there's deeper roots that could emerge from this for you. And it's like, I think it's almost like reflecting on connections in the past. And I feel like it's sort of paving a way forward. Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, there's the destiny. Because I was feeling like destiny, fates. Like I think this is something about, there's some kind of huge expansion here for you. Like this is how you're expanding in this next part of your life. It could be a Jupiter return with the wheel there, but I feel like this is how you're kind of expanding. I almost get this as sort of like the fates. I'm seeing like a loom as well, but I almost get this as like fates energy, right? Like something about written in the stars, but then what's coming to mind are the three characters from A Wrinkle in Time. Like I forget the names of them, but I know that, yeah, anyways, I know Oprah was one of them, Mindy Kaling as well, or Kaling. And so I feel like, yeah, there's something about expansion and opening up. And then I feel like the opening up happens as a result of, like, the expansion is part of this opening up, because then you get this Ace of Cups, Temperance, and Ten of Pentacles, where it's like you're opening up not just to balance, you're opening up to it's almost like everything you wanted but maybe felt was out of reach. Like Pentacles tend to be, the Ten of Pentacles to me is that seeds that we plant. Those are seeds that we plant that grow on their own. They're seeds that we develop. They're seeds that we nurture. So it's like it goes from a sort of abstraction to something very grounded. And that's kind of what comes in on this, on the wheel, right? The wheel turns, and I feel like that's kind of what gets delivered. Something about it could feel pretty fated. It could feel fated in the way that it happens or shows up. Like there could be, I'm seeing the movie Serendipity. Ten of Pentacles and Seven of Pentacles. I feel like there's like a theme of patience here, and this could be patience with yourself, but it could also be patience with what it is that you're doing, I guess, in terms of how you're bringing this to life. I'm hearing this song Collide by Ed Sheeran. What was that? The moon. Yeah, there's Ace of Cups. Wow. There's so many repeating energies here that tell me this is like big life lesson shit. Like this is the stuff that is not just, like, oh, that was such a nice experience. Like I feel like this is really, like this is about fate, but also a little bit about life path. Possibly some karma as well. And just how it's expressing through where you are. Like, how are you allowing it to express? And I almost get this as like, are you so busy focused on specific energies that you can't, like, you're not seeing the ace? Are you not seeing the ace? Be this in another person or something that you really love, like, work that you really love, ideas that you want to invest in, that kind of flew out. And I feel like this is where it's like putting an end to not seeing. The Nine of Wands too is a bit of defensiveness. And I feel, I feel the way it's coming across here is like being unwilling to see, be it your own patterns, your own behaviors, all of it is, I don't know. If we're unwilling to see ourselves, it's going to be really hard to see other people in the ways that they, like, in their, I guess, like, I want to say natural state, but as they are, right? Because it gets to a point where if you're really entrenched in patterns, so we have the King of Cups and the Hierophant just came out. More King of Cups. This is supposed to be here. Okay, this is huge. This is like a lot. I'm almost getting a little bit of like shadow emotions here. It could be that like your emotions were not, the way it's coming across here is that it's like your emotions weren't necessarily speaking to the part of you that held this spiritual wisdom and knowledge, or it's like it was feeling like it's almost like your emotions are talking to the part of you that wants to be committed to something, that is, it's like that intimacy, emotional intimacy. And not only understanding what emotions mean to you, but understanding how you want to express them, the grounded way that you would like to have them come through. All of these things come together here in this energy. I almost get this as sort of like a tower with the lightning here, but I feel like this is a bigger, like, it's like, how much faith have you put in your emotions, right? How much faith have you put in your emotions? Have you given them their due? And I feel like that's going to be a real key here. I think there's like, your emotions are going to be, I want to say your compass, yes, but I also feel like there's just, it's not, I don't know. I'm also just feeling like there's a way that you haven't necessarily been trusting your emotions, I feel, with that 9 of Wands, King of Cups, and the Hierophant. Wow. Holy. Knight of Cups and the 2 of Cups. Again, these repeating energies. And the Fool and the 3 of Cups. And Devil and Temperance. Jeez. And the Emperor. Okay, I could keep going. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of repeating energies here. This is like, are you paying attention? I feel like Spirit is trying really hard to get your attention. Are you paying attention? Right? Because I feel like there's a lot of new. There's like new relationships, new opportunities to share and experience love, be that in whatever form. There's new opportunities to, and I feel like the Knight of Cups here it's like, yes, it's like a flirting energy, but I also feel like it's like there's really sincere offers. There's really sincere love. Can you see it? The Moon. Are you allowing yourself to see it? New friendships, new connections, taking leaps of faith, putting faith in yourself and what you want, and like balancing the stories that you've been told with the stories that you can tell yourself, releasing the need to obsess over the details because you have more patience for the process and the bigger picture, which then it's like this Empress card. It's like this aha moment where you're like, oh yeah. Flip side of this too, it's like you have everything you need, right? You have everything you need. There's a ton of majors that were in this spread too. So we have Capricorn, Aquarius. We also have, down here, sorry, the majors. We have Capricorn, Aquarius, and we also have some Mercury and Gemini energy there. We also have Jupiter. We have Taurus. We've got some, the Fool can be Aries, but it's also, I've read it as elemental air too. So there's that possibility. We also have Capricorn repeating, and that's Saturn energy too. And Temperance is Sagittarian energy as well. And the Empress is Venus. So Libra and Taurus. It's almost like the details draw out the truth, and then Spirit really goes to work with you on this, but you have to be willing to. Like, you have to be willing to put in the work on this. And what does this mean in the context of work or projects or things like that? Like, this is, I think, about opening up and trusting that what you love is enough. What you love and that feeling is enough. And, I've often said before, like, how do we know what love is necessarily? Because, it's a feeling, yes, but then it's also, because I'm kind of the type of person that's like, I feel like love is something that is more of a commitment energy. Like, we can be enchanted, or we can be enthralled or enamored with someone. We can want to cherish them, but I feel like love is in the details, and love is the verb of it. And when you express feelings, I something that I'm working through, and I don't know if this helps you at all, but it's how do you express when you have feelings? And it's like you want to, it's like overthinking what love means, overthinking what it means. Because when you've experienced it where people give it and then take it away, or if you've experienced it where it's like it's there and then gone, right? Like, or, like a lot of ghosting, like people will just drop you, like, in a heartbeat, because you stop doing what they want, or there's something like, and they're not communicating effectively or clearly. It's like, it can be a little bit it can make you feel like love is not safe to express in the way that other people expect, or because there's no shared definition across the board of what it means. So it means something different to everyone. But I think it's like allowing yourself to build your own definition of what it means, I think is what Spirit is saying. And that's really what starts to open up a whole lot more. So let's pull a card from the Notes from the Universe deck by Mike Dooley here and see where this takes us. Keep it simple. Yeah. That's where it's like pulling away from overanalyzing too much, because it can really disconnect you from your truth, right? I almost get this as being sort of like either a comet through the sky or that sort of North Star idea. Like, what's your simple truth? What is your simple truth? What's the simple truth of how you feel, about how you want to contribute, about what's coming through your heart center? About what moves you. It's about what moves you. Like when you see someone, how does it make you smile? Does it make you smile? Like, I don't know. When you see someone, what do you feel? And also understanding what emotional availability looks like. Like when you tell someone that you're interested, do they pull away? Like, what is it like? Because I don't know. I was talking to somebody about this yesterday, but just in terms of like games that we play to get people like to be convinced that someone really likes us, and it can be so confusing because social rules have a different flavor and texture for me with being on the autism spectrum, but it can be so confusing. So I think the key is just to know how you feel and articulate that truth to the best of your ability. But it's also understanding that you win some and lose some, right? You win some and lose some. And that's not to say, or you win some and learn some, I should say. That's the song I'm Yours by Jason Mraz. That's one of the lyrics is you win some, you learn some. And I think that's where it's about understanding that what you have within you is a fire that can't be put out. And not giving the past so much credit or credence that it is possible to feel like it put out a fire, right? Because when you understand that it comes from within you, you're not waiting for someone to light it for you. You're not understanding those things. You're not seeing it in that way. Spirit, what messages do you have? I can change my patterns when I change my mind about them. Yeah. And that's a lot of this is like patterned thinking, like imprinted templating, programming as well, like that you might have picked up along the way. I am ready to receive love. Wow. Ooh, I felt that one. I have goosebumps. Even if you can see it, my arms are getting hairier, but yeah, I'm ready to receive love. Say that to yourself a lot, like every day. I am ready to receive love. I'm ready and willing to receive and give love. It's such a powerful statement. It's such a powerful statement. It's an offering, really. It's an offering. Okay, and then we'll read this one here, which is You Are Magic. Dearest you, pump up the music, bang the drum, get on up, and start that hustle towards your goals and dreams. There are times to be still, but this is not one of them. Now is the time to make that first move, say yes to life, pick up the phone, make that decision, and take one step toward the gods or us. Expect a cascade of changes, good news, and opportunities to show up as if by magic. Well, we know it's really Spirit and all of us moving things around for your benefit. The point is that we are saying go for it. Take positive action towards your dreams. Even if the outcome isn't an exact fit for your agenda, it will all be orchestrated by Spirit and arrive in a divine, appropriate timing. Don't you just love how it all works? We love you so, so much. Yeah. So that's it. That's really like, I am ready and willing to receive love. And that's, I think, what I might title today's reading. But nonetheless, this is your reading for today. If this resonated, please give it a like and subscribe. I would love to have you on the channel if you're not already. If you are joining from my subscriber base, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it and you. But from here, if this is where we part, I hope that wherever this finds you on the time-space continuum, morning, afternoon, or night, that it finds you very well, my friends. Take care.